Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news now, fans. Strap in because what I'm about to tell you could be one of those game-changing rumors that shake up the entire NFC East. It's about Tyreek Hill, the lightning-quick, game-breaking wide receiver from the Miami Dolphins, and the possibility that he might be heading to the New York Giants. I know, sounds crazy, right? But hear me out because the NFL world is buzzing with whispers that this could actually happen, and it's all tied to some serious shifts happening in Miami and beyond. First off, let's talk about the Dolphins. They're struggling this season, sitting at 4-7, and their defense has been leaking points like a sieve, allowing about 5 points per game. That's not the kind of number you want when you're trying to contend in the AFC. And with the team's cap situation, things aren't looking great either. Sources indicate that Miami is actively exploring ways to free up cap space, especially after some injuries hit their secondary hard. They're eyeing a major move, trading Tyreek Hill, one of the most explosive playmakers in the league, for a first-round pick in 2026. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would Miami let go of Hill, especially when he's been such a big part of their offense? Well, there's a strategic angle here. The Dolphins are prioritizing cap space, about $12 million, to bolster their offensive line, which has been a concern this season, especially with injuries and inconsistent protection for Tua Tagovailoa. Plus, with their struggles on third down, converting only about 8% of their attempts, they're looking for solutions that can help them become more efficient on offense. They're also mindful of Waddle's emergence as a true number one receiver, which might make Hill somewhat redundant, or at least easier to part with financially. Trading Hill would free up around $20 million in cap space, giving Miami the flexibility to address their defensive line needs in other areas. Now that's where it gets really interesting for Giants fans. The idea is that Miami might see the trade as a way to get younger and more flexible, but what if the Giants swooped in? Imagine a scenario where the Giants, currently sitting at 2-9 with an offense averaging around 21, 5 points per game and a receiving core still trying to find its rhythm after injuries, could benefit immensely from adding a player like Hill. With Daniel Jones at the helm, the Giants have been looking for that explosive playmaker to unlock their offense. Hill, with his blistering speed and ability to turn any catch into a big play, could be the perfect X-factor. Let's look at Hill's career for a second. Over 9 seasons, he's accumulated over 700 receptions, more than 0 receiving yards, and has averaged 3 yards per catch. He scored 70-plus touchdowns and boasts a PFF grade of 89. 5, an elite level. He's a true deep threat, capable of transforming a game with just one catch. In 2025, despite missing 4 games due to an ankle injury, Hill still managed to rack up 21 receptions on 29 targets for 265 yards and a touchdown. His yards after catch are phenomenal, over 150 yards YAC this season, making him a nightmare for defenders. If the Giants could land Hill, it wouldn't just be about adding a star receiver. It would be about transforming their entire offense. Currently, their wide receivers are struggling, averaging around 20 yards per route run, so bringing in Hill would instantly elevate that to around 3 yards per route, giving Daniel Jones a much-needed deep threat. Imagine the possibilities. Hill stretching the field, forcing defenses to respect the deep ball, which opens up running lanes and underneath routes for the rest of the receiving core. It would make the Giants' offense more dynamic and unpredictable, especially in critical third-down situations. Moving from a 5% conversion rate to nearly 47% would be a huge boost, and it would help sustain drives, keep the defense on the sideline, and control the clock. And let's not forget the impact on the defense. Opponents would have to game plan differently, knowing that the Giants could hit big plays at any moment. This would lead to more possessions and ultimately more scoring opportunities. On defense, the Giants are allowing around 3 points per game, so any extra possessions are gold. Adding a player like Hill could help flip the script, making the Giants' offense more explosive and their defense more rested. What about the NFC East implications? Well, if the Giants manage to land Hill, it could turn them into a playoff contender again. Think about it, adding that deep threat would make their offense much more dangerous, especially in a division where teams like the Eagles and Cowboys are already loaded with talent. A healthy and explosive Giants offense with Hill could challenge those top-tier teams, especially if the defense continues to improve. It would also send a message to the rest of the league. The Giants aren't just rebuilding, they're reloading. Now, tying this all into the bigger picture, imagine the Giants becoming a true dark horse in the NFC with Hill on board. The odds of a Super Bowl run would skyrocket, especially considering the impact he could have on their postseason chances. Teams like the Chiefs or Eagles have proven that having a game-breaking receiver can be the difference in close playoff games. With Hill, the Giants could finally have that missing piece, a player capable of taking over games when it matters most. Of course, there are questions. Will Miami really pull the trigger? It's a bold move, and it would be a gamble for the Dolphins, especially if they're still vying for a playoff spot. But with the season slipping away and their cap concerns mounting, they might see this as a necessary reset. And for the Giants, it's about capitalizing on this opportunity, whether it's through a trade, free agency, or just staying patient until the right moment. Remember, NFL front offices are always looking for that edge, and Hill's talent is undeniable. Now I know some of you might be thinking, well, could the Giants actually pull this off? Honestly, it's a long shot, at least right now. The Dolphins would want a hefty price, and the Giants would need to make some cap moves and roster adjustments. But in the NFL, surprises happen all the time, and the Giants have shown they're not afraid to swing big. If they do manage to land Hill, it could be the catalyst that sparks a new era of explosive Giants football, turning them into a real playoff threat and maybe, just maybe, giving Daniel Jones the weapon he's been desperately needing. And what about the fans? Well, imagine the excitement around MetLife Stadium. The deep balls, the clutch plays, the highlight reel catches from Hill. It would ignite the fan base and give the Giants a new identity, one of a team that can strike from anywhere on the field at any moment. It's that kind of move that not only changes the roster but also shifts the mentality, boosting confidence and igniting hope for a brighter future. So, to wrap it up, this whole scenario might seem like a long shot, but in the NFL, nothing is impossible. The Giants are always looking to make moves that can elevate their team, and adding a player like Tyreek Hill would be a game changer. It would send shockwaves through the NFC East, boost their playoff chances, and give the Giants fans something truly exciting to look forward to. Whether it happens or not, you can be sure that the buzz is real, and the Giants are in the mix of something potentially historic. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe the Giants should make a push for Tyreek Hill? Would you give up the draft capital for a player who could redefine their offense? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Giants news. Whether it's a blockbuster trade or some draft rumors, we'll be here to keep you in the loop. Thanks for riding with us, and as always, let's go Giants.